Taking a look at Carson Wentz of the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's break down what he's done over the past few years and what we can look forward to in 2019. Here we see just his overall grades. Of course, he was a rookie in 2016, had that MVP caliber season in 2017, and then last year, a bit of a mixed bag. I think he probably played a little bit better maybe than perception, but maybe not as well as his 100-plus passer rating showed. As we see the three-year progression here, this is a great number for a rookie, just about a 70 overall. In the MVP caliber season, we wouldn't say he was necessarily the best quarterback in the league. 84.9, still very good, number 5 in the league. His numbers were exceptional that year, and then last year drops to 13th in the league, even though the drop-off in grade was only about 5.5 points in PFF grading, because the quarterback grading in general last year was a little bit higher. It was a much better year for quarterbacks in 2018. So that's your grading breakdown of Wentz. Let's go check out some of our most important numbers when we're talking about evaluating quarterbacks, especially clean pocket grade versus pressure grade. And this is where we see the stable pieces of quarterback play are the clean pocket. So in that MVP caliber season, an 87.9, that's very, very good. And we see that did stay pretty solid last year, 85.7. The difference, though, from the MVP season last year was his play under pressure. This is the number that fluctuates a little bit. Coming in at number 5 in that MVP season, 70.5, it's really tough to sustain. That's why we saw that drop off down to 58.7 last year. That was 13th. From his rookie season, obviously, we've seen some improvement in both of these numbers. So that's where Wentz is right now. It takes that big jump in year 2, but probably a predictable decline based off those pressure numbers. That's why he didn't play as well last season. And now let's take a look at big-time throws and turnover-worthy throws. This was the interesting dynamic here. If we just look at turnover-worthy, that's the light gray here. 3.5, 3, and 3. Pretty consistent across the board. This is a really good number for a rookie that's taking care of the ball. Turnover-worthy throws, those are those passes that should be intercepted. Those really bad fumbles, whether they are lost or not, whether the pass is intercepted or not. We're looking at the decision-making and the pass location, but a consistent 3% in turnover-worthy plays the last 2 years. But the big difference in his MVP caliber season, number 1 in big-time throw percentage, 6.4%. That dropped down to 4.5 last year. So he just was not making the special throws as consistently as he did in 2017. Again, it's another one of those metrics. It's really tough to sustain that number at a really, really high level. It is also interesting looking back at his rookie season. He was despite his big arm and big playmaking ability, pretty low, 29th in big-time throw percentage. So to see that big jump in year 2, that was encouraging. That's what we expected from him coming out of college. But again, tough to sustain at that 6% level. And this is the other place where Carson Wentz made that huge jump from his rookie year to year 2. Intermediate passing, number 17 in the NFL with a 73 grade as a rookie, but in year 2, gets up to 2nd with a 92 grade. He dominated at that 10 to 19 yard range. Last year drops back to 13th just a little bit. So we're seeing all those numbers where Wentz was just a little bit better in year 2 and kind of regressed back to the mean in year 3. One other place where Wentz really needs to improve is fumble grade. He's been consistently poor in this area, so we're essentially giving grades on fumbles. When you get strip sacked and it's not really your fault, there's not much you can do there, but there are times when you have to have better control of the ball in the pocket. Pocket presence and just general ball security. This is where he struggled. A 50, a 35, and a 44.9. We want to see guys up here in the 70s and 80s when it comes to fumble grade. So he's well below league average, and that's a place that Carson Wentz can absolutely improve. And then I think the last really important breakdown here for Carson Wentz. What went right in that MVP caliber season? It's that tight window throw percentage. It's another one of those numbers that fluctuates a little bit. We see his rookie season, he was 32nd in the NFL, only 23% accuracy on tight window throws. That jumped up to 1st in his second year, 47.3%. That's an incredible number. And again, it's difficult to sustain. It's incredible that he did it. He deserves a ton of credit for what he did that year. Third downs, he was incredible. All the tight window throws, as we said, from 32nd to 1st, but it was an expected decline to 40.3%, which was 16th in the NFL. So when we look at all these numbers, Carson Wentz was fantastic his second year. Maybe not as good as the numbers showed. Maybe he shouldn't have been MVP because the stats were a little bit better than he played, but we see the specific areas where he played well were really tough to sustain. We'll see what happens here in 2019 if he can creep back in a couple of these areas to where he was really exceptional in year 2 back in 2017.